Hello everyone, welcome to week 5 of the Olympian Draft League. I'm Blizzard, the coach of your Ursa Major, and today we are up against Sibon, who is an undefeated player. He's 4-0 right now, and it's not looking like a super easy matchup for me, even though I believe and I have maintained that his team is not necessarily the strongest on paper. He is a very great player, and he swapped out one of his best Pokemon, Basculegion, for Palafin just to counter team me, particularly because of the ghost type moves I could be running, or Terra Ghosts that I could be running to deal with Basculegion. But anyways, let's get into the team. We have Ursaluna to start. He is a little bit of a weird set. You can see the EVs on pretty much every Pokemon this week required a little bit more work than usual, but I'm running Pasho Berry, which is a water resist berry, to deal with the Palafin particularly. I'm also running Protect just as a pretty good option to have. I want to run Protect on some of my best Pokemon because he has a lot of Pokemon that are really good into this. The Palafin and the Mamoswine are the two big threats I gotta look out for, though Hitmontop is another potential option. Also, couldn't really think of another good item to run on it, so I ended up going with Pasho. Mind's Eye is great because it lets me hit ghost types with Blood Moon and Vacuum Wave, though he does have Galarian Wheezing, so I do have to look out for a combo of Terra Ghost Slacking and Galarian Wheezing, because that means my Blood Moon and Vacuum Wave is completely useless into that slacking, though it is pretty specific, so hopefully I don't have to look out for it. Earth Power is also pretty good into some of his Pokemon, and the main idea is for it to be good into Wheezing, and then Terra whatever, like Terra Steel or Terra Fire on something else could work as well. Running Max Special Attack just because I want to do as much damage as possible, particularly with the Vacuum Wave, just being able to finish off some Pokemon that are quite low on health. Running as much defense as I can, then running 92 speed, so I always outspeed his entire team in Tailwind, as long as he's not Scarf on something, even though I anticipate a Scarf on something like maybe the Palafin, but probably on something like the Slacking or the Rotom Heat, maybe the Mamoswine. I think those are all reasonable brings, so I'm running 92 speed for that reason, then dumping the rest in my Fizdef, because the main threats to Ursaluna are physical, so I want to run as much as I can, or as much as I can get away with at least. Moving on to Porygon. Porygon is a little bit of an interesting set this week. You'll see that Recover and Terra Blast are very typical. Psychic is mainly to deal with the Galarian Wheezing and the Hitmontop, because it does really good damage into those, should OHKO them, unless they are quite specially bulky, which I don't anticipate them being, but who knows. And Solar Beam is really good into picking up big surprise knockouts on Mamoswine and Palafin in particular, because I am running Sunny Day on my Volbeat this week. Download is really nice because I get +1, meaning I do a lot more damage, just in case he is running something that would allow my special attack to increase. Download doesn't guarantee a special attack increase, but if I can get it, it's nice. There's not really any ability I want to trace. If I trace a bad ability, that could be really bad. If I trace something like Truant, or if I trace something like Neutralizing Gas that hurts me, then I'm running max special attack because I want to do as much damage as possible, just like on Ursaluna. And just like on Ursaluna, I'm running enough speed to outspeed his entire team in Tailwind, though it does require less investment than Ursaluna, so I am running just 1 point faster than Ursaluna, so I don't have to worry about speed tying my own Pokemon. Also, I will note that I am not running Hyper Voice on Ursaluna to deal with the Throat Chop, because I think Throat Chop is a potential option he could be bringing. He has 4 Pokemon, I think, that learn it, so he has quite a few Throat Chop users, and that would be really annoying for Ursaluna to deal with. I just don't even want to risk it, and Hyper Voice here is like okay at best. So yeah, just moving back to Porygon, I'm running as much Fizdef as I can get away with, because I want to really just tank as many attacks as I can. And then I'm running Terra Poison to pair with Terra Blast, because it can pick up a big surprise knockout on something like the Clefable. Even if he sees my Terra Poison in the team preview and is anticipating Terra Poison, Terra Blast, it's still good for the fighting type attacks from something like Hitmontop or Slacking, so there are a lot of good uses for it. And the only weakness that I have to worry about is the ground type attacks coming from the Mamoswine, but you'll find that looking at his team, there's no one Terra type that can cover for all of his options. He just has so many that it feels like I have to pick a Terra type with only one real weakness instead of no real weaknesses. So let's move on to Sinistcha. We're running Terra Water. which I have run the past 2 weeks, but that's because it's a really good Terra type for Sinistra, potentially the best, because it's really good into the majority of his team. It means that if he wants to click a fire type move from the Rotom Heat, then I immediately resist it, or an ice type attack from the Mamoswine, I resist it. The only issue is that I'm suddenly opening myself up to being weak to the electric type attacks from Rotom, but I would previously resist them, so if he anticipates a tear and I don't go for it, then there's a little bit of a mind game there. I decided to run Hospitality over Heat Proof just because I don't feel like I'm going to be keeping Sinistra on the field too much without clicking Terra on it, though it's hard to say. And Hospitality is just really good for healing back up my team. Always nice to have. Rocky Helmet to pair with the Rage Powder, because I was initially running this on the Ursa Luna, but I decided that it wasn't really getting too much use, and Rage Powder means that I can redirect attacks into Sinistra, who's able to deal back a sixth of the HP of the opponent. Something like Ice Shard on Mamoswine or Jet Punch on Palafin really does not like the Rocky Helmet. And also, I don't think I finished the speed. I don't think I touched the speed on it, actually, is what I meant to say. This is the EV spread that I am going with, but I didn't touch his speed because I am able to outspeed pretty much his whole team in Tailwind. And you'll notice I'm not running Trick Room on either of these Pokemon. And that's because he has a lot of Pokemon that are going to be slower than me in Trick Room. And so I just don't even want to play the Trick Room game this week. Though these two Pokemon and Ursaluna are good in Trick Room, so I am kind of faking that strategy. Something that should be helpful to me, hopefully, early on. I'm running Iron Defense to deal with his plethora of physical attackers. He only has a few real special attackers that can deal damage. But he has a few incredibly strong physical attackers in Slacking and Palafin, to name the two big threats, but Mamoswine is also quite strong. Could be running something like Life Orb or Choice Band to make that even scarier. Machagachi is just a move I always run on this thing because there's a lot of damage and the 20% burn chance is really nice. And Strength Sap's an immediate way to heal back up the full HP while lowering his attack. Now, on a special attacker, once I've clicked it once, maybe I can't heal back to full HP every time, but usually I can heal back up to full HP and reduce the attack of his attackers. Just really good move for keeping Sinistra on the field with something like the Rocky Helmet, just to chip away at his health. Machagacha can slowly chip away at his health. But the idea is I can redirect towards me after I've set up an Iron Defense, and once I get low, I can just Strength Sap. And Sinistra can be pretty hard to remove, and it's still doing stuff because Machagacha is annoying and Rage Powder still redirects, and Strength Sap still lowers his attack. So I'm not useless on the field at any point, which I felt like I kind of was a little bit last week, so hopefully we can avoid that coming into this week. And then let's move on to Tauros, who's running the Life Orb. Another item I considered and was actually planning on running on Ursaluna, but I switched to Tauros because of its potential here. So with Terra Stellar and Life Orb, Close Combat and Flare Blitz, particularly in Sun from Volbeat, can just OHKO a lot of things, and that's really nice. Even if you're doing max defense on things, I can just click Terra Stellar and just nuke anything, which is just so much damage. Really, really threatening to his team. So I feel like Tauros could be potentially really good here. Intimidate is great, though he does have Oblivious, which means Intimidate isn't effective on it, though Will-O-Wisp is definitely an effective way of cutting his attack in half for any of his physical attackers. Really, really great threat. And then Rock Slide is just a move where if I outspeed him, I can do a lot of damage into his whole team, but the big thing is doing a lot of damage into Rotom Heat, and then getting the 30% flinch chance is really annoying for him. Just not a bad move at all, and I feel pretty good about Tauros this week. We're running max attack just to do as much damage as possible. I'm running this speed so that I always outspeed max speed Hitmontop because I foresee myself not being able to have Tailwind up for the entire set. And then it's a trend, but I'm dumping the rest of my stats into physical defense, even though he does have a few special attackers. I think generally it is quite nice to have a little bit more phys def. And something I gotta look out for on Tauros is the Palafin. Huge threat into it, especially with something like Jet Punch. So that's why Volbeat here has the Sunny Day to deal with it, though there are a few options on his team that would be benefiting from the Sun, particularly Flamethrower on something like Clefable or Galarian Weezing, and the Rotom Heat. So Rain Dance is a good option to deal with those, but Sunny Day is just for Palafin, pretty much. And so I have a way to deal with both of them. I don't really want to sacrifice 2 move slots, but I figured with Rain Dance I can power up my Samurott, and with Sunny Day I can power up my Tauros. So, and it allows me to get a lot of big knockouts with Flare Blitz. So I think Sunny Day is the play, and that's why I'm running Flare Blitz over Raging Bolt as well. And then I'm running Tailwind just because speed control is really big for me here. Tailwind is probably the most important move I can click, and Trick is also a good option to deal with his Galarian Weezing slacking combo. Galarian Weezing has no effect on my Prankster because of my ability shield. Even though it feels like it could be overkill at times, if he's not bringing it, I could just give him the ability shield, and then all of a sudden he has a wasted item if he decides not to bring Galarian Weezing for whatever reason, or once I've knocked it out. But it's also good because I can trick the ability shield onto the slacking, meaning it still has Truant despite being next to Galarian Weezing. So quite nice. And then running, again, as much Fizz Def as I can get away with. And this speed is to outspeed Choice Scarf, Rotom Heat, and Slower in Tailwind, I believe. So it's quite nice just having that bit of speed. I don't really need too much more than that for the most part, so I want to run as much Fizz Def as I can. And Terra Ghost is to deal with the threat of a few things. It's not a great Terra type here, but it's neutral into pretty much everything, and it's good at stopping or threatening the Terra on or in front of the Hitmontop with Fake Out. Finally, the last Pokemon is Emperor, our Hisuian Samurott. He's running Sharpness, which can get neutralized by neutralizing gas, something to look out for, but Aqua Jet hits very hard. Ceaseless Edge sets up a layer of spikes, which is great because Palafin needs to switch out in order to be sent into hero mode. So once it switches out or comes back in, there's an extra layer of chip that goes on there. Razor Shell is really good at doing a lot of damage and potentially lowering his defense, which means something like Aqua Jet could maybe pick up a kill if I get him low enough, or just I can turn something that wasn't a 2-hit kill into a 2-hit kill. And then Sacred Sword is really good at hitting the slacking and Mamoswine in particular, and we're running max attack and HP, though I could consider changing this to one of the defenses, like a physical defense. I think HP is generally good because Rotom can still do a little bit of damage with a Thunderbolt, even with my AV, so I think this is pretty nice. And then I'm speed tying my Volbeat, but that doesn't really matter because I have Prankster, so all of my moves are affected by Prankster, and therefore I'm never really speed tying. With Terra Poison, pretty much the same reason as on Porygon, but I can cover for the fighting type attacks from the slacking and the Hitmontop particularly. He hasn't brought Hitmontop once, but it is a threat, and also something like the Palafin can be running something like Drain Punch, maybe Close Combat too, so just something to look out for. I think having a lot of answers to fighting types is really nice to have. So yeah, that's my team for this week. I feel somewhat confident, even though I know it will be a really tough matchup, so we'll just see how it goes. Alright, hello everyone. We are in the matchup now. He brought pretty much the Pokemon I expected out of him, though he did leave behind the... Who did he leave? He left Mamo. He left Mamo behind, so I did prep a little bit into Mamo, though I don't think this is bad by any means. I gotta start the timer. Whoops. Hit him with good luck, have fun. I forgot to do that last week, which I realized after the fact. But Volbeat is not a bad bring. Who do I want to lead with? I think Volbeat is probably like a must lead. Tauros, not a bad lead by any means, I think. Probably want to lead that as well. Samurott is a mon I could lead. I do like the idea of having Ursaluna in the back, but I'm not super confident. I don't think I want to bring Sinish to game 1, especially because he does have 3 special attackers. This doesn't feel bad as a lead. Well, Sinish is also not a bad lead just because of the Hitmontop. So maybe I actually lead Sinish, right? Like I lead this lead, and then I'm pretty much ready into whoever he has. I think that could be a good option. I definitely want Tauros here. And then P2's not bad. Samurott's not bad. I think Samurott's probably the play. Let's go. I'm leading Porygon. I'm gonna go Porygon. I'm not gonna overthink it. So these two, and he leads Rotom and Palafin. So that's reasonable on his end. Tailwind is always an option. He's probably just switching out Palafin right away, right? Because it feels pretty bad here. Rotom wants to just rip a fire type attack, so I can Terra Water or Rain Dance. If I'm in Rain. Ooh, Rain actually feels pretty good here, but he might flip turn, so. Tailwind isn't bad, and then Terra Water Iron Defense just feels really annoying here for him to deal with. He just does switch out right away. I Terra Water, set up Tailwind, I outspeed Iron Defense, and he Volt Switches. Interesting. He does a lot of damage. So I'm guessing that's Specs damage, because that did way too much into Volbeat. And Palafin does come up right away. I can Sunny Day here, and then Sinister's in a spot where I can just Matcha Gotcha for a lot of damage, right? I would imagine. I think Sunny Day is for sure the play. I don't know. He probably has, like, Thunder Punch, maybe? Is that? I don't know what Palafin gets. Maybe he gets, like, Wild Charge. What Terra type is he on? Oh, no. He's Terra Water. Okay, so. I think Sunny Day is for sure the play. And then I can Iron Defense again, honestly. That might be better. Okay, cool. Perfect. And he doesn't even kill. Wow. Oh, man, I feel so good about that. I feel so good about that. Tailwind only has 2 turns, which is kind of annoying. Maybe I send out Tauros here, just because a Jet Punch is fine, right? I can take a Jet Punch. How much does Jet Punch do? This is saying he's, like, well, maybe he is if he did that much. No. I think I actually would rather have Porygon on the field. So I set up Porygon here, and then I can just rip a Matcha Gotcha at this point. I get physical attack, which is annoying. He does Jet Punch, so I'm glad I went into Porygon. Just does over half to Palafin, no burn, and he Moonblast. Okay, cool. That's fine. I can Terra Blast into the Clef, and then just rip another Matcha Gotcha. That should be fine, right? He probably switches out Palafin here into Rotom, I guess. Maybe I switch out into my Volbeat. Maybe I do that, because I think he switches out Palafin here. Yeah. I'm going to do that. Well, do I do that? Maybe I Terra Blast into the Palafin. That should OHKO, and then I can just get up a... I don't love any of my options here. I think a Terra Blast and then Matcha Gotcha, even though he probably... Oh, he doesn't switch. Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. Wow. I'm glad that happened. And then Clef takes a good bit, eats the Citrus Berry, gets back up to good health, and then Moonblast comes off. No special attack drop is really nice. Whew. Okay, Rotom does come out, but he can't do a ton of damage here, right? So I'm probably just Terra Blast. Ooh, he wants to go into Sinistra, though, and he probably can, right? So I just Terra Blast, and then maybe I switch into Tauros. Yeah, switch into Tauros, just because he's probably going to attack into this, I imagine. Yep. That does so much. He's definitely Specs. So good to know. Clef takes a little bit, and then just Moonblast. Does not do a whole lot. He gets a special attack drop, a little annoying. I'm probably switching out either way, though, right? So I can just double switch here, and I think this is my best play. Covers for any fake out. I can reset up. I can set up Rain, actually, if I want. I wonder if he's Specs. I think that's very clearly Specs damage. I heal up. Oh, I forgot the switch out order, so I do just lose Volbeat, but he is at -1 on both, so that's actually not even bad for me. Moonblast comes out, does a good bit, and then I'm in a spot where Tauros gets another Intimidate drop, so, I mean, Hitmontop kind of has to switch out at this point. I can Rock Slide and just do a lot into Rotom. And that way I cover for any of his other shenanigans too. Right. I think Rock Slide Machigotch is for sure the play. I don't think I need to think about it too much, hopefully, because I can just... Right, please hit. It doesn't do a lot. He flinched. Wow. That feels really bad. Okay, so I did just cheese him on that turn. Wow. Okay, so that's on me. Flare Blitz isn't bad. Rock Slide isn't bad. I think I can just Rock Slide again, though, maybe? And Rock Slide is almost a 2... Yeah, I think Rock Slide, Machigotch should just kill both. He close combats. I live. And do I outspeed? I do. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So now it's Specs Rotom versus these two. But the problem is, like, Tauros wants to outspeed, but I can't. So I probably have to switch Tauros here. And then just, like, let Sinistcha go down, I guess. But he probably just clicks an electric type move. And so I probably just switch Strength Sap, I guess. He Terra Electrics, Thunderbolt. Okay, cool. That's fine. I come out, and then... Ooh, I can't even do that much damage. He can maybe win this. I don't like that. Oh, never mind. I'm faster. Cool. I do die, which sucks. But, yeah, it's bad for differential, but I win the round, and that matters more. I think this game, I don't care about differential. I just need to win it, because if I can win it, that's really good for me. And if I can't win it, then he and Juvie are just so far above everyone else, it's really bad. I'm gonna say good luck F1 game 2. What did I lead game 1? This weird of a lead. Okay, well, so Sinistcha wasn't bad here, but once I clicked Terra, Rotom was able to kind of deal with it a little bit better. Volbeat is probably a good lead again. I like the lead with Tauros. I don't think committing my Terra right away is a good call. If I have the Samu on the field, I can just Oko whoever he has, so maybe I do that. And then I like Tauros here a lot. And then maybe I bring Ursa in the back. I don't think I bring Ursa in the back here. Maybe I do. Well, I don't think I can get Tailwind up if I bring him in the back. No, I think I should bring him just for damage. So it is a Weezing Slacking, but I have Ability Shield. Assume I don't have an ability. Okay, it already is assuming that because of Neutralizing Gas. I'm just making sure. I don't know why it doesn't give him any moves, but ooh, he can't actually kill here unless. Oh wait, no, he definitely can. Okay, cool. So Tailwind's not bad, and then I think Sacred is good, though he's Terra Ghost. Maybe just rip Ceaseless with Terra Poison. I know I just talked about not wanting to get rid of my Terra immediately, but oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. It's okay. It's okay. Deagleam doesn't do much, and if I had lived that, well, that means he's Choice Band or Life Orb Slacking, yeah. So that's not even bad because Tauros comes out here. I forgot I don't get a Dividate, but I can just Flare Blitz for the kill, right? Always, and then I don't know if I trick onto him if I get rid of that turn right away, so I don't necessarily want to do that. Sunny Day is not a bad option, right? Sunny Day and then Flare Blitz, just in case something else comes in. He does protect on it. He does protect on both, but I get Sunny Day up for free. I waste my turn, but that's okay. Ursa can come out here, honestly. And then maybe I just don't go for Slacking because anticipating a switch. Maybe I go for CC. I don't think CC is the play, though. Flare does a lot to Weezing. I think I should switch out here. I think he can't kill, right? So I just go for Flare Blitz because it's a pretty safe play, right? Yeah, Slacking just goes down for free. And I have one layer of Ceaseless up, which is nice. He goes for Taunt, but it's because I switched out. Wow. I really did anticipate Taunt on someone here, and Weezing makes the most sense. So I'm really glad that I called that out. He can just double protect here, but I could also just switch out Ursa right away. So, a lot of decisions to make. It is Rotom, though, so I outspeed Rotom and can just Earth Power. No, I can't Earth Power it. What am I saying? I can Rock Slide and Blood Moon, I guess. That's assuming he's, like, max HP, which I don't know if he is, but I think this is just good into whoever. Yep. And Rotom goes down here, so that's nice. Before he can attack, too. Weezing goes for a little bit of damage, right? No Tailwind's annoying. It is Hitmontop last. And no Intimidate because of Weezing. He can kill with a close combat or triple axle, which is annoying, so maybe I switch into Volbeat. I outspeed him, actually, so I can just rip a Flare Blitz into whoever I want. Or a Will-O-Wisp into Hitmontop. I think Will-O-Wisp here is probably more valuable, so I'm going to go for it. He Fake Out, perfect. So I think that is a better play, because I don't live this, but that's actually okay, because I can outspeed and Earth Power. And now he shouldn't be able to kill Ursa, unless maybe if he crits, he can, but yeah, he can't kill. Okay, so Tailwind, and then, well, I could also Tailwind Protect here, right? Just to cover for his one play, which is Protect Weezing, and then just attack with him on top. But I could also just Blood Moon. I think I just Tailwind Blood Moon, right? Cool. Even with the Terra Fighting. Oh, wow, he lives that. Ooh. Please don't kill. Fuck! Fuck! Oh, my God. Well, I lose. I should have protected. I knew it. Damn. I can't believe that didn't kill. Wow. That was a terrible play on my part. Terrible play. I'm mad about that. Mad about that. Well, I think I need to really lock in for game 3. I was trying to start the timer. It's not working. There we go. Whew. Okay, well, I already revealed some tech that I don't want to reveal necessarily, but Volbeat is great on the lead, just because Rotom is always a threat to lead. Blood Moon's always a good lead. I think the slacking is annoying, but Tauros was pretty good here in the last one. I could lead Tauros again. I could also just lead Sinistra and go for, like, more Iron Defense shenanigans, but I think Rotom's going to be annoying. I think he realizes that Rotom is a problem. So I do like this lead again. I could just do the same floor. Porygon's also not bad. Maybe I bring Porygon in the back as a Ursa. That's probably AV Hitmontop based on that damage, right? How much do I think Ursaluna not being able to pick up big kills is a little annoying. I think I bring Porygon. Okay, so he does just lead this. Tailwind, and I can Razor Shell and rip a Oko into Rotom, right? Tailwind, Razor Shell? I think that's really good into a lot of his odds. Even if he's Terra Electric. Wait, let me check for Terra Electric first. Does not kill, and he can kill me back with Specs because he has Specs. I can. Whew, there's just not a lot of great plays here, so I think he probably does click Terra Electric. Razor Shell should do a lot, though. Man, I don't like this situation for me at all. Tailwind, I can Terra Poison, but that feels like a lot. I don't like committing my Terra right away. I'm just gonna rip it. I don't think he Terras. Oh, he Intimidate. Fuck, bro. I'm just playing poorly. This is a lot, though. And Voltage doesn't kill still, so that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Palafin could come back out here, in which case I'd Sunny Day. It's Clefable, so Fake Out is a threat. This means he doesn't have Glaring Weezing, I know for a fact. I can get rid of the AV on... Well, I can't trick Hitmontop to go to the AV because then I can't do anything. So maybe I trick the Clef, and then I have to switch out here pretty much. So probably Tauros makes the most sense, or P2 could be solid at doing damage into anything. Only problem is if he goes for CC, right? So I think Tauros is just good for the general Intimidate. And then I get to steal a Citrus Berry, which is kind of nice. Low kick doesn't do much. Glad I didn't go out to P2 though. And here I can Sunny Day, because Rotom is the only one that benefits from that. Sunny Day Flare Blitz does a lot in the Clef. I could also Willow, but I don't think that's worth. I still have my Terra available to me. He sends out Palafin. Clef doesn't protect, so it does die here. Cool. I lose a lot of health, but it is what it is. It means that I do die to a Jet Punch, which kind of sucks, but even though Sun is up, I died to Jet Punch. I could tear a Ghost here, just anticipating a Fake Out, and that way get off an attack, but I don't think Volbeat's attack is too valuable here. I can trick away whatever item he has on his Palafin, theoretically, or I can trick... I don't even know what I would do with Volbeat here. I could switch him out if I want, but I kind of want to keep him on the field. I just don't want him to die. So I think he only dies if he gets doubled, and I don't think he doubles me. So I'm fine tricking the Palafin just to kind of... I don't know if he's already revealed his item. Game 1, did he? Let's get to end. He did not. So trick the Palafin, and then I kind of have to send out Samurai here, probably, right? He does Terra Water. He Fake Outs. I trick. I steal his Clear Amulet. He Wave Crashes. Okay, it does a little bit. He has the Citrus Barrier. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. I Tailwind. I should probably Aqua Jet, maybe. Because he probably... Well, maybe he doesn't have Jet Punch, but if he does Jet Punch kill? It does. Okay, well, I can Tailwind here, and that is always nice. And then I can rip a big attack and do Palafin or the Hitmontop. Going to Palafin. Okay, cool. Palafin loses over half. Eats the Citrus Berry, which I gave him, which kind of sucks. But now I'm in a situation where I just don't like this situation at all. Yeah. I didn't get Tailwind up, too. Yeah, I'm in a really bad spot. I just lose the set because I fucked up game 2. Man. Well, I can Oko Palafin. And then how much do I take from a low kick? Not much. Okay. Well, I do lose this set probably, but Flare Blitz into Hitmontop, and then Solar Beam into Palafin. Jet Punch kills, but I kill Palafin. Cool. Cool. Now he can just Fake Out me. I can't do anything about it. And he can just Thunderbolt me twice and I lose. There's just nothing I can do about it. Terra Poison makes more sense here. Yeah. Well. GG's. Can't believe... I spelled believe wrong. I sold game 2. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, well, that was maybe my worst played game of the season. Yeah, game 2 I played terrible. I did not deserve a win this week based on how I played. Game 1 I felt like I played okay, but I had a lot of interest to his team, and ultimately I just didn't use any of them effectively at all. It's just really sucks. I think I could have played around it a lot better. I think Rotom Heat with Spec scared me a little too much. He didn't even necessarily outposition me. I just didn't... Felt like I just didn't have an answer to the things that I specifically designed for, which means I wasn't using my answers properly. So, disappointed in myself for that result. I brought the wrong Pokemon every game. Even game 1, I felt like I brought the wrong Pokemon, and it just kind of worked out in my favor, especially with Sinister Bring. So, Future weeks, just gotta learn to not be an idiot when I play, not kind of think very quickly. Also, just thinking about the mons in the back more, because I was not thinking about that pretty much at all throughout the set. Wasn't able to deal as much damage as I wanted to his big threats. Speed control, I knew Tailwind would be kind of my only way around about it, but I didn't take advantage. I didn't capitalize on my turns because I didn't have enough output. And so, despite running a pretty offensive team, I thought, or running a lot of good offensive options, you can see I only had one offensive item. So Tauros was my only real way of dealing damage, and outside of Tailwind, he was pretty much useless. No Terra Water meant that I couldn't necessarily live a Jet Punch despite being in Sun. So I think those are takeaways for this week. Definitely going to have to step it up for future weeks, though, because this was not at all a good performance on my part. Especially after a scare last week, I thought I would maybe have a better effort this week, though I knew that having no time to prep all week for the last few weeks has been really affecting my performances. Not as confident as I want to be. I don't think I'll have much time to prep again the following week, so it's really unfortunate knowing that I'm kind of coming in at what feels like a prep disadvantage. He played pretty well. He caught me off guard with a few things, but generally I just didn't have the answers that I should have had. Like Terra Ghost there doesn't necessarily win me it, but I'm in a better spot. I mean, there's just so many things that I could have done to put me in a situation where just one little thing wins me the set. And so, pretty disappointed in my performance overall, but it is what it is, and on to the next week. See you guys.